Hi, Milton seniors and family. My name is Tiffany Popwell, and I'm one of your counselors here at Milton, and I'll be walking you through tonight's presentation. Our agenda for this presentation is as follows. We'll go over your counselor caseloads, graduation requirements, calculating your GPA, the SAT and ACT, navigating Naviance, applying to college, letters of recommendation, requesting transcripts, financial aid including Hope and Zell Miller scholarships, and additional post-secondary options. The counselor caseloads for this year are as follows. Mrs. Foote, A through B, Mrs. Lehman, C through F, Miss Hoaglander, G through KH, Miss Popwell, KI through NF, Miss Rhodes, NG through SG, Miss Wilson, SH through Z. Miss Wilson is out of the office until further notice, and in her absence, we do have a substitute counselor, Mrs. Allison Edwards. Her contact information is linked in the bottom right corner. Before we get started, I want you to be familiar with your number one resources. On the left, you'll see the Milton High School Counseling website, in addition to a QR code where you can scan and bookmark this in your phone, which I highly recommend doing. We post information regularly on the counseling website, and so any of your important deadlines or paperwork, personal fitness waivers, dual enrollment paperwork, and information will be located on the website, and you will find that very useful. On the right is Naviance, which is accessible through your ClassLink. You do not need registration codes unless you are a parent who is trying to create your own Naviance account. Otherwise, you will go through ClassLink. You already have an account using your student login credentials. It is this teal colored tab titled Naviance-STU. Now we'll talk about graduation requirements. On the left side, you will see a list of all of the requirements that you need to complete in order to graduate. First, you need 4 language arts credits. You need 4 science credits, 4 credits of math, 3 social studies credits, 3 full credits of either world language, career tech, and or fine arts, 1 health and physical education credit, and 4 elective credits. You need a total of 23 credits in order to graduate. If you plan on entering or transferring into a University System of Georgia institution or other post-secondary institution, you need to take 2 consecutive years of the same world language. I know that some of you might not have taken 2 consecutive years. That is not going to keep you from getting into college, but it will make your time easier in a language if you do it consistently with no great breaks in between. Some courses will count towards your graduation requirements, but they might not be recognized as core credit by colleges. You can verify by viewing USG's Staying on Course document, where it lists what courses can fulfill what areas or categories. For example, food science is counted as a science. It will help you meet graduation requirements, but some colleges might not see food science as a 4th science, therefore you wouldn't meet their requirements for application. Personal fitness waiver is an option as well if you want to eliminate 0.5 of your health and physical education credits. That waiver is available on the counseling website. At the bottom, you will see the required credits in order to be promoted to the next grade. If you want to be promoted to 10th grade, you need to have accrued a minimum of 5 credits. From 10th to 11th, you need 11 credits. And from 11th to 12th, you need 17 credits. You can also track your graduation status using the sheet that you see on the left. Unofficial transcripts are available in your Infinite campus, and you can use this to complete your tracking sheet. Be sure that you're checking for your 4 Hope Rigor courses if you are a student who is interested in attending college in the state of Georgia and being eligible for the Hope Scholarship. I'll talk more in depth on that later, but that's definitely something you want to check for when you're looking through your track sheet. If you want to use the QR code below to access a printable track sheet, you can. We also have a printable track sheet available on our counseling website. Calculating your GPA. So there's the core GPA and there's your cumulative GPA. The core GPA is calculated using your core classes. That's your English, math, science, social studies, and world language. The cumulative includes all of the classes that you've taken, so that will include your electives in addition to your core classes. You also have a weighted versus an unweighted GPA. A weighted GPA will include all of your honors, AP, and dual enrollment points, which I believe is 7. So that is a quote-unquote heavier weighted GPA, versus an unweighted GPA, where an institution might choose to take off all of your honors, AP, and dual enrollment points, and then calculate your GPA. The Hope Scholarship GPA Calculator is located on Georgia Futures. If you go to their website, click on Shortcuts, and then you can click on Your Hope GPA. You can calculate that there. New to Fulton this year, Fulton is rolling out transcripts where you can view your weighted and unweighted GPA, as well as view your unweighted courses. We anticipate these being available in IC for all students in September 2021. This is a county initiative, so the counselors are not in control of how soon your transcript is updated. When it is updated, it will be available in IC for you. This is really helpful when you're wanting to look at your Hope GPA, or if you know that you're applying to a college that wants you to report your unweighted GPA. Your default reporting GPA should be the cumulative weighted numeric average unless the application requests otherwise. So this means that unless a college asks you specifically to cut out your electives or to take off your honors, AP, and dual enrollment points, you want to report your highest weighted numeric average. For those of you who are completing applications already, Fulton County does not rank students. You will select does not rank or no ranking on any application that asks for your rank, or if it asks what percentile of the graduating class you were in. We do not have that information and we cannot provide it for you. That is just something Fulton County doesn't do, so you do not have to worry about that. Those of you interested in taking the SAT and ACT, to register and view upcoming test dates for the SAT, you will go to thecollegeboard.org. If you want to register and view upcoming test dates for the ACT, you will visit actstudent.org. There are test prep resources available on the College Board and ACT website. We also have some linked on our counseling website if you go to the College and Career tab and click on ACT, SAT, and PSAT. Apple Ruth offers some free and some paid resources. And then you can also find free resources on Khan Academy. Do keep in mind that many schools are returning to SAT and ACT required for admissions, so you'll want to check the admissions page for the school of interest for more information on whether or not they are test optional. The counselors do not have a list of colleges that are switching over to test required, so that is something that you will need to do your research on, and it's completely based on what schools you want to apply to. Fee waivers applications for the SAT and ACT. Each counseling office will have SAT and ACT fee waivers. Students using the Common Application, otherwise known as Common App, can also apply for a fee waiver through the website or application portal. The eligibility requirements are as follows. You must be enrolled in or eligible for the National School Lunch Program. That's your free and reduced lunch program. Your annual family income falls within the income eligibility guidelines set by USDA Food and Nutrition Service. You are enrolled in a federal, state, or local program that aids students for low-income families. Your family receives public assistance. You live in federally subsidized housing, a foster home, or are homeless. You are a ward of the state or an orphan. If you meet one of these requirements, please contact your assigned counselor for more information. Navigating Naviance. So we have instructional videos available on the counseling website as we speak. The following videos are there already: a Naviance overview, how to match your Common App and Naviance accounts, how to build a colleges I'm applying to list, how to request a teacher letter of recommendation, and how to request transcripts. Each of those videos, other than the Naviance overview video, are less than 10 minutes long. They give you a step-by-step visual of how to complete these things, so I highly recommend going in and looking at those. They will be very helpful for you as you start to play around in the platform. Moving on to applying to college. For college visits, there are 3 different options. You have campus tours, where you can schedule your visit through the college admissions office or their website. You can see more of their campus. Definitely try to schedule a time to visit when school is in full session and avoid visiting over spring break. And that's mostly because if you go over a holiday, you will find the campus to be very empty. It might not seem that exciting. You're not really getting an accurate view of what student life is like because most people go home for the holidays or they go on vacations. You definitely want to visit at a time when students are there. You can also do a virtual campus tour. Some colleges are still offering virtual tours through their website. So you'll want to visit their website for availability and more information on how to schedule that. And lastly, we have Milton Rep Visits. You can sign up for visits at Milton through the Naviance Rep Visits in your Naviance account. You will go to Colleges, College Visits, and then you can sign up there. For college-bound student athletes, the NCAA Initial Eligibility Clearinghouse. Are you planning on participating in intercollegiate athletes at an NCAA Division I or II institution? If so, you'll want to register with NCAA Initial Eligibility Clearinghouse by visiting their website, www.ncaaclearinghouse.net. You will send your SAT and ACT test scores to NCAA Clearinghouse. Naviance has the NCAA Eligibility Center listed under colleges I'm applying to. Search for NCAA Eligibility Center. You are responsible for reviewing the NCAA requirements as they may differ from Fulton County's graduation requirements. Please review the NCAA website. Also be aware that the NCAA Eligibility Center may not accept courses taken via Fulton Credit Recovery, Georgia Credit Recovery, or other online programs. If you need to recover a failed course, Summer School, Fulton County Virtual School, and Georgia Virtual School are available options. In short, that means that if you have failed a course and you are trying to recover the failed credit, NCAA doesn't acknowledge credit recovery as a way to recover that credit. Everyone else probably will, but if you want to be a student athlete, you will either have to sit in that class again, take it over summer school, or do it through FBS or GAVS. Do colleges care about essays, recommendations, and extracurricular activities? For essays, that is a college saying they want to learn more about you. It's a great opportunity to get yourself beyond the nitty-gritty details and data points about you as a student. You can share more about who you are as a person, what you have to offer to them, and more about your life. Letters of recommendation, you can get those from teachers, counselors, mentors, employers, someone that you volunteered with, really anyone that knows you and your work ethic and can explain why you're a good candidate for admissions to that college. Extracurriculars, when you're reporting those, organize them by section, include leadership positions and awards, and do not abbreviate any of your titles. Like if you're a part of NHS, you will want to report that as the National Honor Society. Not every school uses the same acronyms, so I highly recommend that you just type those out. When is the best time to apply? So there are a few different types of application deadlines. The first is a rolling cycle. That means that the college accepts applications year-round. You can apply anytime. They typically have a window of the amount of time that will pass before you hear back on your decision. There's early action or early admission or early notification. This is a non-binding application. Some of the popular early action deadlines are UGA, Georgia Tech, and the Georgia State University Honors College and Priority Scholarship. UGA is October 15th, Georgia Tech October 18th, and GSU for Honors College and Priority Scholarship is November 15th. There's early decision, which is binding. And what that means is that if you apply to a school early decision, you are agreeing that if you get accepted to that school, you are definitely going there. If you're not ready to make a commitment like that, then you might want to choose to apply early action or early admission. You get your application in early, but if you get accepted and then you get accepted somewhere better, you don't have to go to the initial school. And then there's regular decision. A lot of students are concerned that if they don't apply early action, they might not get into a school. The biggest difference between early action and regular decision is that when the early action deadline comes, you are already ready to submit your application with your best foot forward. So if you're a student who your grades, 9th through 11th grade on your current transcript, are exactly where you want them for applications, you've done your volunteer time, you have participated in your extracurricular activities, and you are ready to apply, then go ahead and do it. There's no reason to wait. Regular decision might be better for you if you're a student who knows that you want your fall of senior year grades to count. You want to raise your GPA just a little bit. If you want to use the fall to get more volunteer hours in. If you have something that you want are a part of that you want to complete in the fall that you want to be a part of your application, then you might want to do regular decision. You can include all of that information at the time that you apply. So how do you apply? Most applications have a fee, or if you're eligible, you can get a fee waiver. You will submit your SAT and ACT scores. You will send an official transcript, and that you will request through Navient. You can also include a teacher or counselor letter of recommendation if it's required. A lot of colleges, if they do not require those letters, they might not read through them as part of your application. And then some places have optional or required essays. How should I report my GPA to colleges? So the GPA used for college admission is calculated by the postsecondary institution, not by Milton or Fulton County. Be sure to report the weighted numerical average listed on your transcript for all college and scholarship applications. Remember, that's the default. If it specifies that it wants you to calculate it a different way, at that point you can calculate it a different way. You do not want to recalculate to a 4.0 GPA scale unless it specifically asks you to. Fulton County uses a 100-point weighted GPA scale. Research colleges' websites and/or contact the college to see how they recalculate GPAs when determining if you are a fit for admissions. So a quick overview of the application process. Step 1, you'll want to research colleges for academic, financial, and personality fit. Look for test requirements, course requirements, priority deadlines for scholarship consideration, etc. Step 2, complete your applications to the colleges of your choice and locate their admissions checklist. Note the deadlines imposed by the college and plan ahead by 2 to 4 weeks. Start a calendar for your deadlines. You can print something easy off of Google, just a quick 30-day overview, and you can map out everything that you have going on. Step 3, order your SAT and ACT scores to be sent to your colleges from the testing website. So if you know that you need to send your SAT scores to UGA, you will go to the College Board website, order your scores, and they will send them directly to UGA. It is the same for the ACT. Although counselors can view your scores, we cannot send official scores to the college for you. Step 4, request a teacher and counselor letter of recommendation if it's required by your college, at least 10 school days ahead of deadlines. Please keep in mind school holidays when making the request. Most forms and letters are electronic, and students will need to invite their teacher and/or counselor via their FCS email. So what I say, 10 days, is extremely important because when you ask someone last minute, not only is it not going to be the best quality letter that you would want, if you're requesting things over the holidays, teachers, counselors, and other professionals are not required to work over the holidays, and they are not obligated to complete something over the holiday for you. So definitely stay on top of your deadlines. If you know that you have a deadline that comes up the first week we return after Christmas break, you'll want to make sure that you get your request in at least 2 weeks before we leave for Christmas break. Step 5, visit your Navient account to order your official transcript to be sent to your colleges. You want to request this 10 school days ahead of deadlines. Keep in mind that counselors have extended deadlines due to the volume of requests that we receive. So if October 15th comes around and you see that your transcript and letter hasn't been put in there by your counselor yet, we have a deadline extension. So don't panic, just know we are aware of the deadlines and ours are a little bit farther behind yours. Step 6, request your mid-year report if it's required, mostly common application colleges, in January by emailing your counselor. I think that we changed that process this year. We will likely have another form where you can request a mid-year report, and then we will go into Navient and send that for you. Letters of recommendation. So counselors will begin accepting requests for letters of recommendation on September 1st. You will submit your request at the bit.ly below, www.bit.ly/MiltonLOR. Please do not email your counselor for a letter of recommendation. It needs to go through the form. All seniors must complete the senior profile or your brag sheet in Navient by September 30th. You will see the deadline September 15th on pretty much everything. Navient only allows us to create deadlines at the end of the month. So ideally, please still get your brag sheet in by the 15th, but you technically have until the 30th. Do keep in mind we will not write a letter for you until that brag sheet is done. We use that brag sheet for important information and accolades to include in your letter. To access the task, you'll log into your FCS class link, select Navient-STU, click on Important To-Dos and Tasks, click on Senior Brag Sheet, click on Take This Survey, and you will complete the senior profile. These instruction sheets are available on the counseling website on our homepage, which is www.bit.ly/MiltonCounseling, all lowercase. You have a preview of what these look like. The left side is you're requesting a teacher letter of recommendation process, and the right side is requesting a counselor letter of recommendation process. Requesting transcripts. Counselors will begin sending transcripts and Navients on September 1st. Students must request transcripts and Navients before we can send. An instructional video on how to request a transcript is linked below. It is also included on our counseling website under the College and Career Navients tabs. So you can view all of the instructional videos there. If you need a transcript, that is how you request one. Financial aid frequently asked questions. I probably don't qualify for aid. Should I apply anyway? Yes. Most families don't think that they qualify, but they do, and you need to file in order to get access to specific loans. Do I have to reapply for financial aid every year? Yes. Most schools will send a renewal application after the first year. Material changes will have an impact on the amount of money that you're eligible to receive. What is the earliest date I can submit my financial aid paperwork? October 1st of senior year, not any time before, so that usually the FAFSA opens up on October 1st. You can go on and submit that. Do I need to start the financial aid process before senior year? Yes, you need to know your financial situation before you start looking at schools. If you can lower your estimated family income, you need to start as early as sophomore year. Georgia's HOPE program. So HOPE stands for Helping Outstanding Pupils Educationally. It's Georgia's unique scholarship and grant program that rewards students with financial assistance in degree, diploma, and certificate programs at eligible Georgia public and private colleges and universities and public technical colleges. In order to qualify, you must be a U.S. citizen and legal resident of Georgia. You must be a graduate of an eligible high school and meet academic achievement standards. And you must be in compliance with selective service registration requirements. That's for male students. The application, you have to complete the free application for federal student aid, your FAFSA, each year, and you have to complete the Georgia Student Finance application. That is located on Georgia Futures. You will also see it abbreviated as GSFAPPS. Additional college-specific application and deadline requirements may be required, and you'll want to check with the postsecondary institution on whether or not you need to provide additional materials. Some key differences between our HOPE Scholarship and Zell Miller Scholarship. In order to be eligible for HOPE, you have to earn a 3.0 high school GPA, as calculated by the Georgia Student Finance Commission. That's on Georgia Futures. The recipients must have a 3.0 GPA at checkpoints to maintain the scholarship in college. You must meet the rigor requirement. That is the 4-course rigor requirement. For a public institution, the HOPE award amount is up to a maximum of 15 hours based upon a per rate hour at the enrolled institution. The private institutions will receive a stipend amount per semester. So I'm sure you are aware that private schools are more expensive than public schools, so HOPE is not going to cover the complete amount for your private school tuition, but you will receive a stipend, a certain chunk of money for that. Zell Miller, you have to have a 3.7 high school GPA. It also has a testing requirement. You need to earn a 1200 combined score on reading and math in a single administration of the SAT or a 26 composite score on a single administration of the ACT by your graduation date. You have to maintain a 3.3 GPA at checkpoints to maintain the scholarship in college. There is also a rigor requirement, which is the 4-course rigor requirement, and it is the same as the HOPE Scholarship. For a public institution, this one actually pays the current academic year standard undergraduate tuition for the number of hours you're enrolled, so that's 100%. And then for private institutions, you will get a stipend amount per semester. It will likely be more than your HOPE Scholarship, but once again, private schools are more expensive, so they are not going to pay for the full amount of a private school. If you want to see more about award amounts for HOPE and Zell Miller Scholarship, click here for the Georgia Futures website. You can just click down here. Now for HOPE Grant and Zell Miller Grant. High school graduates are not required to have a specific GPA to be eligible for the HOPE grant. You must earn a 2.0 GPA at certain checkpoints to maintain in college or in your program, and it will cover a portion of your tuition. For Zell Miller grant, the high school graduates are not required to have a specific GPA. You have to earn a minimum of 3.5 GPA at the end of each term in order to maintain in your college or program. Your first term of enrollment is paid retroactively if you have the required 3.5 at the end of the term. It will cover the standard tuition rate based on the school the student attends and number of hours enrolled. So keep in mind that HOPE grants are available to students who are seeking a technical certification or diploma at an eligible technical college or university in Georgia. If you want to see the award amounts for HOPE grants, you can click here, which will route you to the Georgia Futures website. And now I want to talk about the HOPE rigor courses. So if you're interested in obtaining HOPE or Zell Miller, you need to take 4 rigorous courses by the time you graduate. There are multiple ways that you can monitor the status of your HOPE rigor courses, and do keep in mind that this is a shared responsibility between your counselor, you, and your family. First, you can log on to Georgia Futures to view your rigor course count. So when you log on to view your HOPE GPA, there is an area on the bottom where you can see how many rigor courses you have. If it is anything less than 4, that means that you do not meet the rigor requirement. Use your transcript in Infinite Campus and count your rigor courses. And then you can also reach out to your counselor if you need assistance finding this information or looking through this information. So I've posted the HOPE rigor courses that we offer at Milton High School over on the right side. This is not a comprehensive list of the courses that count for HOPE rigor requirements, but they are the courses that we offer in the building. So if you're a student who is a senior right now and you go onto Georgia Futures, you see that you only have 3 rigor courses, but you really want to be eligible for HOPE, you need to look at this list on the right, and you need to meet with your counselor as soon as possible so that you can get into one of these classes so that you can meet your HOPE rigor requirement. You can have the highest GPA, but if you don't meet the rigor requirement, you will not be eligible. Keep up to date with HOPE and Zell Miller information using the Georgia Futures website. So HOPE program and GPA calculations. The final calculations are conducted by the Georgia Student Finance Commission after you graduate from high school. All of your core classes are used for the calculation, which means they are only going to use your English, math, science, social studies, and world language credits. That amazing 100 that you got in Intro to Art is not going to go towards your HOPE GPA. Middle school courses are not used when calculating the HOPE or Zell GPA, so even though they do count when you're meeting graduation requirements, those grades from middle school are not getting factored into your HOPE GPA. Your 7-point weight for honors, AP, and dual enrollment courses is removed, so they are going to use a core unweighted GPA. Also know that GPAs are not rounded, so if you have a 2.9999, it is not going to round up to a 3.0. You can check www.georgiafutures.org to view your preliminary HOPE GPA and to see the rigor courses that are counting towards the 4-credit rigor requirement. So if college is not for you, there are additional post-secondary options. You can take a gap year. In your gap year, you can travel abroad, you can volunteer in your community, you can do mission work, or you could join the Peace Corps. There are certificate programs where people make good money. You can be an esthetician, cosmetologist, medical assistant, dental assistant. You can join a trade, work in construction, HVAC, which is heating and air. You could be an electrician, do metal work, welding, mechanic, or you could join the military. We will administer the ASVAB in the spring, which is the test that kind of discerns where you can be placed in the military, what jobs you're eligible for. There is the opportunity for college to be paid for through the military, and there is also the opportunity to travel. If you want to live somewhere else, they will pay to move you there. It's important to maintain a healthy mental balance. Preparing for college is important, but so is preserving your mental health. Please consider the workload and the level of rigor in your classes. Take time to pursue your intellectual interests. Get involved with extracurricular activities. They are equally as important as your grades and classes when it comes to applying for college. Carve out time for community service and other interests. And participate in activities that promote your overall health. You can meditate, exercise, eat healthy. Mental wellness is as important to your overall well-being as physical health, social and emotional connectedness, and intellectual accomplishment. Some important dates that I want to share, and I am aware that some of these have passed, but just these have been available to you since July 20th. August 12th was the last day to do a senior reduced course load. If you are a senior who is taking a semester-long course in the spring, let's say that you have Intro to Art in the spring, and you want to reduce your course load for that, we will accept senior reduced course loads in the first 10 days of the spring, but only for semester-long courses. August 20th was the deadline for your personal fitness waivers. It was also the deadline to sign up for any Fulton Virtual, Georgia Virtual, or make any schedule changes. August 23rd to September 3rd, which is right now, Counselor's Corner is happening daily in the lunchroom to help with frequently asked questions. So think college applications, Naviance, graduation status, and post-secondary planning. We are at a table in the corner of the lunchroom during all 4 lunch blocks. So if you have a question and you want to come and talk to us in person instead of having to wait and book an appointment, please come see us. This is a great face-to-face time that we can spend with you. August 31st is the Senior Information Night, which is released virtually at 4 p.m. Hi, that's today. September 1st, counselors will begin accepting letter of recommendation requests via the bit.ly link. We also will begin sending transcripts via Naviance once you have requested them following the instructions on our counseling website. September 15th is the deadline for all seniors to complete your senior profile and brag sheet in Naviance. And if you were paying close attention, you will realize that you actually have until the 30th to do that. So just keep that in mind. Ideally the 15th, but you do have until the 30th. Stay connected with us. We do have multiple social media accounts aside from the website. We have a Twitter at RepMCounselors. We have an Instagram at Milton Counseling. We're also up on YouTube. If you search Milton High School Counseling on YouTube, you can find our channel and give us a follow. Do you still have questions? If you do, please submit your questions that pertain to this presentation here at the link. Your assigned counselor will respond via email within 24 to 48 hours upon receipt. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my presentation. Please reach out with any questions that you have. There is a lot of important stuff in here. We also will be visiting senior classrooms September 7th through the 9th, 8th through the 10th. We'll be going, the tail end of next week will be in all of the senior classrooms. So you can expect to see us face to face. We'll be going over a lot of this again with the seniors in person, but we are happy to help in any way and hope you have a wonderful evening. Thanks so much. Bye.